Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein in the Road to 100, where this run we will be running all EVA, and I will hopefully attempt to show you guys the
Are you
versatility of Ephemeral
checking
Refrain,
everything?
and how and when and where to use this crazy and wacky gift that it does some really incredible stuff. So what it does is it increases your light and dark by 50%. It also increases your drain rating by 50% on both your weapon and your veil, but it's multiplicative. So any other bonuses that you get for drain rating, it multiplies with those as well. Not on the veil, but for the weapon it does. So the drain activator is multiplicative. These two become multiplicative, and this thing absolutely gets crazy. You can get about 8 ichor, so from something like the machete here, on one attack, and so it becomes really bonkers what happens. And then also what it does is it adds a cost of 2 ichor to every single casting gift. Any active gift, it adds 2 ichor to the cost. So if it cost 4 ichor before, then it's going to cost 6 now. If it cost 10 ichor before, it's going to cost 12 now, so on and so forth. If it cost 1, it's going to cost 3, so you need to be careful. Now you'll notice as we go through here with this setup and stuff, we will not be using blood sacrifice at all. The reason being is because it actually works out to be worse off than what we had with Blood Awakening and White Mia in the last run. So I'll show you here that
You're awfully
if we go
attentive.
for um, uh, Eva here, you see that this costs 6, or it grants back 6 ichor, and it costs some health here, right? And if you go for Eva with this,
I offer up this
and you
bow.
use blood sacrifice, you only get back 4 ichor now. So on
Just
the
wish.
positives, because it's adding 2 to the negative, essentially, and so here you're only getting back 4 ichor for the same amount, and that is not enough ichor recovery as compared to your weapon or different things. So ichor, or blood sacrifice and cleansing light, that is not an efficient kind of a method here to go for any kind of ichor recovery. So you really do need to rely on your gifts, such as ichor regeneration, field of thirst, huge amounts of ichor recovery on weapons, and huge amounts of backstab ichor recovery here. So we'll get about 11 or so ichor on a backstab, and so that
I'm
should
on
do
my
us
way.
well. But that is the real problem with Ephemeral Refrain, is
Thanks.
that you really do need to pay attention to your ichor recovery as a bonus here. So you'll see that
I
we're
see
at
no
12,
limit.
and if we run up, we got 3.5-ish back, and on a backstab now, we get about 11 or so. So we do have really good ichor recovery on our weapon. So since our weapon is really up here from at 2.72, we're gonna have really good ability to go for a whole bunch of ichor recovery strikes. And because the machete has pretty good damage overall, we should be doing pretty well in the damage department as well as the ichor recovery department. And as you see there, Fire Lily putting in some good work, even though these guys are, basic damage and everything. You can see that we have really no ichor recovery problems overall, and 8,000 damage is
More
pretty
blue
good
eyes. We'll
to
have to
go for
investigate.
overall, but you see that we run out of ichor in like 1 or 2 gifts, so it's ouch, it's really important here that we go for some damage. And there, Fire Lily, I wish I didn't
May you
zoom
find your
around there,
rest.
but Fire Lily got all 3 of those guys in 1 gift, which is really good. And so let's look at our dark value here at 2661. So it's really good of a value, but you'll see here if we go for gift extension, it
Thanks.
costs 10 ichor to go for now instead of 8. So it's really in our best interest to go for as many weapon strikes as possible. See, we're getting about 5 or 6 ichor back on a weapon
Lost
strike,
are above us.
so we really need to pay attention to that. And since Ephemeral Refrain only costs 20 ichor and it reduces you by 10, just as any of the other normal communals as opposed to Blood Awakening, what we just saw. We do not have a fast-paced sort of play gifting setup here. This is all very slow, calm, and calculated, just to make sure that we have enough damage at a moment's notice, and we will still always need to maintain ourselves above that 20 ichor cap. So you can see Fire Lily still does pretty good work here at the basic guys, as they do get harder and more HP and so on and so forth, and Fire Lily will kind of drop off later, but for right now, it does pretty good overall. Whoops, but it's nothing extremely crucial or critical to our setup here. But Field of Thirst can put in some good work here for us as well. But it's, we can go for some gifting here. But we're going to have to get gift extension going and then go for Eva again. Okay, let's hit him. And let's hit him with a fire lily. There we go. And this guy, we're going to go for ichor from Field of Thirst here. Get some ichor back while he figures out where we're at. And let's get this. Good. And now since we have over 20, we can go for Eva again, which is great. Now we are going to need some backstabs and such to make sure that we are getting enough ichor to go for Eva again. Okay. Okay. Okay, and we'll go for definitely Fire Lily there. Make sure that we again have enough damage on the enemy, and Fire Lily definitely putting in some good work there overall. Okay, and maybe another backstab. No backstab, but it's nice to have something at range for folks like this. But you can see that that amount of damage is very nice to do, but you definitely have to be careful with how you go for ichor recovery, because you can see here that we're out of ichor very quickly and very easily. So you have to use your gifts in really deterministic senses. You can't just go throwing gifts everywhere like we did with white Mia last time, or regular Mia, and so we have to really pay attention to when, where, and how we're actually going to be using our gifts and why we go about using them. So again, see there, that costs 10 ichor, and we can't use Field of Thirst because it costs 4 ichor now instead of 2. So we also have to be really careful with Eva, that our partner gift now costs 4 ichor, so that don't miss, and she did. Oh, that's funny. So you really have to be cognizant of what you're going for during these different scenarios, just because of that fact. So yeah, we'll go for this, and now we don't have Eva anymore, so we'll do this, do that. Good. Okay, and we do have plenty of ichor here for now, so that's very good. We'll go for this, and Argent Wolf Cross. Whoops. Okay, he already died. So good job, Eva. So Ephemeral Refrain, definitely one of my most favorite, best communals in the game, just because of the huge amounts of versatility that this thing can do, and it brings out some of the greatest potential in some of the worst weapons possible in the game. So you see here the machete being used as an ichor recovery tool, because as a one-handed weapon it still gives me normal mobility. It still hits really hard at almost 1,000 damage, while at the same time having really good recovery on ichor here overall. So it's putting in really good work in ways that you may not think it to actually be used. Okay, and definitely hit this guy with some gifts here before we go for some attacks. Ouch. Yes, I am in bad shape, Eva. You are correct about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves up to full here before we get too crazy. Okay. Now you see that we do need blood-sucking blades to be active in order to get that huge amount of dark transition conversion from our dark value to our drain value. So without blood-sucking blades, we don't have huge amounts of ichor recovery because Hunting Feast is only a 50% increase with no bonus added determining from any kind of values. So it's in your best interest, obviously, to go for as much blood-sucking blades as possible. Okay, this guy really needs to go down. Good job, Eva. Okay, so we're at 27, so we do have enough for Oliver coming up here, and Oliver should be a pretty good fight overall. Nothing too crazy or wild. I don't suspect coming out of him. Whoops. Okay. And you can see here that we definitely have the ichor recovery possible here. Okay, and let's go for some bonkers different things here. Let's go for Dancing Fireblade and Dark Shout. Okay, now hopefully I would like Gift Extension to be active because that will help us immensely here. And before we actually get started, we will definitely go for some Blood Sacrifice here. But Oliver's, he does have a weakness to, or not a weakness, but he's pretty neutral to slash damage, and so we'll go for this for now, and we'll see just how we do here versus Oliver. Now he said don't go for blood sacrifice with this, but because I'm anticipating this to go well, which is not what you should be doing, I'm anticipating it to go well, so I'm hoping here that we're okay in the meantime. Okay, and we'll definitely go for this and this. Good, and let's do this. Good, and let's go. And hopefully we can get through here quick. And this should be kind of fun if we are able to stay close to Oliver. Okay, and we'll take some hits here and get some of that ichor back. Good. Okay, good. Thanks, Oliver. Okay, and you can see there that Dancing Fireblade definitely put in some good work, so we'll go for one of those again. There we go. And we'll go for some ichor recovery here, and he just disappears. So literally, you don't really need to do much for Oliver, and you can burn through that pretty quickly, pretty easily overall, just because of the fact that
what are you?
Dancing Fireblade has a 2.25 multiplier when you stack Dark Shout with Ephemeral Refrain. So we'll take a look here in a second at what that value is, because we were at 2661, and let's see, can I just work it out?
For now, just take it easy.
2661 divided by 1.5, so 1774. 1774 times 1.5 times 1.5. So that was at 4,000 dark value, just for that Dancing Fireblade, which is pretty crazy to say the least, that you can have that kind of a dark value and go for some kind of gift like that sticks around for a long time because of gift extension as well. And Dark Shout actually applies to the entire gift. It doesn't apply to just the first strike of the blade or something, and so you can get really crazy damage. Now, if you also did that with Queenslayer, you'd multiply by another 1.5, so that would be a 6,000 dark value. That you would pretty close to a 6,000 dark value, 5,987 and a quarter. And so you would be able to do exceptionally well damage values out of something like Queenslayer, because Queenslayer also increases your dark value by 1.5 times, as well as your light value. So Ephemeral Refrain and Final Journey kind of kind of have similar effects to them. Not exactly the same effects, but they do share some similarities. So now if we check out our value here, we're at 1774. We use Dark Shout, and we're at 2661. And we go for Dancing Fireblade, and you can see that the damage stacks up on that exceptionally fast, over 20,000 there on a single cast. And if we go for Gift Extension here and Dark Shout at the same time, we'll see what kind of damage we can get out. Why is it not doing Dark Shout value? Hang on. That was not what was supposed to happen there. There we go. And now we have 2661. There we go. Because we were on the outer realm, the outer ring of Dancing Fireblade. So there you can see that we're up to almost 40,000 on the internal blades there, and that's where you want to be hitting folks with Dancing Fireblade, because you can see that as you are on the outside, it's very slow, and as you move in, it starts to go. You can hear the ticking and the hissing and the whistling, kind of. It goes faster and faster and faster. And if you do all the way in as close as you can, you get an exceptionally fast. You can see the numbers there, going faster and slower. So if you're able to stay exceptionally close to the enemy, then you will do far much more massive amounts of damage overall. And let's see here. Yeah, good. We can go to the depths here, and we can see how this operates here with Eva, and see that value that we want to see on our dark. Okay, and we get a switch here for Eva. Now, Ephemeral Refrain is definitely not a sort of beginner's kind of a gift at all, just because of the fact of how it operates. It looks pretty bad from the outset, but it actually becomes one of the best in the game. So 3992, so yeah, almost 4,000 there. And if we were going for something in Queen Slayer overall here, sure, this looks good. Probably go for Dark Shout here. Let's see if I can even get this going correctly here. And yeah, again, if you go for Merciless Reaper with stuff, it makes for some really wacky and crazy kind of setups and things overall. But you can make some really crazy things happen with Ephemeral Refrain, just because of how the multipliers happen. Okay, and then if we look at our value here, whoops. Okay, we need more willpower.
Keep an eye on our surroundings.
There we go. And more willpower. We need a. Okay, and there we go. Just a few more seconds. So there, 54, 58. So pretty close to 6,000 overall, and it's because of how Final Journey interacts here. And if you look at what our whoops, because I changed our blood code. What's our dark value here? 1617. So 1617, yeah, 54, 57. So not quite as high as what we had last time, but definitely still, something respectable. And if you look at what Final Journey does, we should be at, yeah, 24, 26, 1.5 times our 1600, so 800 more. So that's why Final Journey is actually, really good, because it's a 50% multiplier. It's not, adding anything to your dark value. Since it's a multiplier, it multiplies with all three of these, which is really great. And so you're getting 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5, so it's 3 3/8 multiplier, 338% increase, I guess you could say, to your damage. So if you went for Dancing Fireblade here, and you went for Oliver, we'd have to set this up a little bit differently. Wouldn't want to go for this. Definitely go for that. Wouldn't want to go for this. Do I really need 3? I do need 3 up. Um, okay. And probably here I wouldn't go for this guy, but I would go more for something like something that would give me quick or at least normal mobility. Um, let's see. Yeah, there's not really too much here for me. So Ice Blood it is, even though this does ice damage, we're only in it for the ichor recovery, and so that is okay with me there. And then here, probably go for this, so we're normal. This will give us quick. This is all good, I guess. Yeah, those are all good. I guess this is like sort of okay here to go for something like this. And if we go for the keys here real fast, now we don't have any way to heal Eva, so that's kind of really bad. Because we may lose her
You choose.
at
I won't
different
complain if
points,
you pick the wrong way.
but if we can get in here and get out
I've got your
quick enough. Oh, where's the key? There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, and here for Oliver, we will check what Dancing Fireblade will do with a 338% increase to its damage overall. And versus Oliver, since he doesn't resist slash or fire in phase 1, we should be able to get him down way past halfway in just the first phase there before his phase transition, if not more than halfway. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that health bar. But yeah, Ephemeral Refrain, probably the best, most versatile, most intriguing communal in the game here, as it definitely has some quirky abilities to it overall. Okay, so definitely blood sacrifice here. Okay, and let's see, what is our dark value now? 1673, so that's pretty good. So not quite close to where we were before, but close enough that it'll work out for us here. Now we have 90 seconds with Final Journey, so definitely keep that in mind. And you want to go for Final Journey before you go for Ephemeral Refrain with Eva. Now you don't want to be using Blood Sacrifice, obviously, during gifting while you're wandering through different areas because of the huge reduction that it causes you. But when you're setting up for a boss fight like this, it's completely fine to go for it. Whoops, I didn't need that, but I need this, and I need this. Okay, and this, and let's go. Okay, now let's let him attack first. Good, and we'll go for it now. Okay, you can see the amount of damage even in his damage reduction phase there was pretty considerable overall. Okay, hopefully it will come back in soon enough. There we go, and Dancing Fireblade, go! And you can see the numbers ticking there like crazy, and it just absolutely blade burns him down exceptionally quick. Now, if you were going for something different here, and you were going for the blades, like Crimson Moon and Jupiter's Blade, this would also be a viable way to go about putting him down as well. Now, this won't be, as insanely stupid fast like what you just saw there, but that definitely works out very well to have your 338% increase from Dark Shout, Ephemeral Refrain, and Final Journey all at the same time. So pretty interesting there how they work out in the end, but definitely does some good work overall. Now this will be kind of problematic here because these guys will cost 7 ichor apiece. So it's in our best interest to get in and get out very fast and get some strikes and then move on. Okay. But you can see, oh, whoops, and missing like that is very painful because it is a huge amount of damage that we're missing out on when we miss one. But now that he's big and fat, we're able to, whoops, we're able to hit him easily. There we go. And you can see the amount of damage that we put out because of a blade is exceptional. But if I wouldn't have gotten hit there so many times, we actually could have put him down in a nice fashion. But ooh, gifts, how nice. But yeah, Ephemeral Refrain definitely is a wonderful thing to go for. Now, if you also go for things here like Dancing Fireblade and or Dancing Blaze, and let's see, a Pierce um, and Ember Reversal. Now, these are not very fast gifts at all, but
You're awfully
but they
attentive.
can do really good work because they are Pierce gifts, and since he's weak to Pierce, you can do even better here with the fact of having, oops, wrong thing, with the fact of having, you know, Pierce and Fire all at the same time. So he's not going to resist the fire at all, but he's going to take 25% extra increased damage from the fact that you're doing Pierce damage. So you can do some really good overall setups here for Oliver in the end, but they aren't readily available in your first playthrough. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so now we will have to be going for, you know, obviously some different kind of approach here. Oops. Okay. Okay. Ouch. But you can see the amount of damage that we can put is exceptional overall there. We got to his max HP before he was able to even move out of phase 2. So really good there. But you can see the ichor drain value is super on you. Everything just costs so much. That's 7 ichor, and that was 6, so that's 13 ichor. And when we go for Eva, we're down to 16. So you can only use each gift once, and then you have to weapon strike him a couple times to make sure that you get your ichor back, which is where concentration comes in. If I'm not actually getting hit, we have that 33% reduction in our weapon strikes, which is really good. So here, if we use up our stamina, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and if we go for concentration, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we get an extra 5 strikes, which definitely super helps us in a huge way here versus Oliver if we don't get hit. So yeah, definitely Dancing Blaze and Ember Reversal putting in good work there. Dancing Fireblade though was pretty hilarious in just how that actually works out in the end. And Homing Hellfire is not exactly the thing you want to be going for, because you'll have to go for a Merciless Reaper, and then it uses Merciless Reaper, and so it's not exactly the best kind of a way. So next we'll be in the Butterfly's Nest, and I think we'll be going for some piping along with that, which means that we have to go for light value. And if you look at the light values that you can get with this thing, you know, it gets pretty high pretty quickly. And here, if we went for Mind of Vitality and Dex of Mind, you can see here that you're up to 1758, which is really good, but you lose out on Field of Thirst. So you have to be doing things, you know, in some different ways here. And if you go for Bridge on this, and then go for Eva, you'll see
Offer up this body.
what the pipe actually gets up to here. So 2068 on the pipe, that's pretty good, and we're at 2638. So here you could be going for something of light value, something like Thunderbolt Impact for a good AoE, but that would cost you 8 ichor to use, and so, you know, it's kind of expensive, but you should be able to, you know, be getting good ichor recovery on your veils. You know, here's 2.43, so you'd be getting more than 22 ichor back on a backstab. So I mean, you know, that might even be worth it just for the ichor recovery alone. Going for Avarice, Devour, Chrome, and Ephemeral Refrain all at the same time. Now what this looks like on the highest drain backstab is 3.38. This is the highest in the game. So 3.38 times 9. On a backstab, you're getting 30.42 ichor back, so it's absolutely ridiculous what Ephemeral Refrain does for you in the long run. So we'll do some investigating here along the way. We'll be doing piping, we'll be doing light, we'll be doing dark, we'll be doing weapons, we'll be doing all kinds of stuff. Probably won't do bayonets, but everything else will be fair game. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.